Welcome to Current Conversations, the podcast where the pool deck meets real life. I'm Aubrey Bowles, a former Nova, Virginia, and Villanova swimmer, joined by Jeff Brown, the coach who pushed me through every lap. And together we dive beneath the surface of the sport we both love. Each episode, we sit down with guests from across the swimming world, athletes, coaches, and trailblazers, to relive the moments that shaped them, the lessons learned between the lanes, and the memories that stick long after the water dries. Whether you grew up chasing the black line or simply love a good story, you're in the right lane. All right, let's dive in.
Tell us a little bit about this guy. I mean, who is he? I'm a little lost here. Go ahead. Fill me in.
Joining us on this episode is a very close friend of mine, and I don't know, maybe Jeff's as well. We'll see. He is a two-time CAA champion and five-time All-CAA performer from his time as a swimmer down to UNCW. Now he has taken his talents into the real world, and we'll see how that's going so far. Everybody, please join me in welcoming Aidan Duffy.
Clap it up.
How you guys doing? Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
And I hope you're not feeling, Benji casts a long shadow, and I hope you feel like you can follow in his rather large footsteps. What cartoon character do you admire most?
That's a really good question, and I do probably think about this on a weekly basis. Who do I resonate with, and who do I admire? Whose footsteps do I want to follow? And just the first one that comes to mind, because I do think about this often, is probably Scooby-Doo. And there's a lot of reasons to that, but I'll keep it short and simple. I just really like his name, and he's good at solving mysteries. You know, Scooby-Dooby-Doo and the Mystery Gang, you can't beat it.
So if I had called you Scooby Duffy, would our relationship have been better?
It probably
our swimmer coach relationship?
I probably would have moved down to South Carolina when you retired, and also retired with you, and maybe even had a room in your house. Well, I don't know.
Good. There's always room for you. What's the most embarrassing T-shirt that you have ever owned and worn? Can't be one T-shirt that you look back on and you think, good Lord, why did I wear that?
Most embarrassing T-shirt I've owned is probably, I think most of the listeners from New Jersey would kind of understand my frustration with this, but it's my shirt that says Taylor Ham. It's a Jersey thing, and there's a picture of what some might call Taylor Ham, but what I unfortunately learned when I wore my T-shirt up to New Jersey is that they don't call it Taylor Ham up there, and I was pretty embarrassed to be wearing that shirt in public. It's actually called pork roll. The locals of New Jersey call Taylor Ham pork roll, and I was walking around with a touristy shirt, and I claimed to be a local up there because we have a vacation house up there, but the locals didn't claim me, so that was pretty embarrassing.
So you were basically wearing a knockoff T-shirt.
They sell it to you on the boardwalk. You think you're going to fit in, and then it just makes you stick out like a sore thumb even more.
Aidan, I just, knowing you as I have known you, I just can't imagine you not fitting in or somehow turning that into just another reason why you would fit in, but we'll let that go. What's your favorite kind of music? What do you listen to?
I think my biggest listening genre right now is probably reggae, and it's pretty weird to be able to say that in the wintertime, but that's just where I'm at right now. I think when I came to college down by the beach, made some friends who just like that kind of style, and being landlocked in Richmond, I didn't really get to know the world of reggae until I came down and lived by the beach, and it's quite beautiful.
So who's your favorite reggae artist or favorite reggae song?
My favorite reggae artist is probably Stick Figure. I just went to one of their concerts back in June. I don't know if that's backwards for everybody, but it was sitting right here.
Came out right.
Perfect. Well, yeah, that's my favorite band, my top artist on Spotify this year. Yeah, that was, they're my favorite band. I finally got to see them in concert. They sing some pretty popular songs, World on Fire, Smoke and Love, and a few others. They're based in California, but I love them.
So they're a reggae band based in California. Well, my wife would certainly approve your choice because, as you may remember or know, her family comes from Jamaica.
Mm-hmm. I do remember that.
She will definitely give you a thumbs up on that one. Tell us a little bit about your family, brothers and sisters, the birth order. You can even include stuff about your parents, because I know they'd probably love to hear you give them a shout out or do whatever. Go ahead.
Yeah. So My family is from Richmond, Virginia, and I have two siblings. I am the oldest, as you could tell by my clear
By your
organization.
mustache?
My mustache. My
Okay.
maturity is
Okay.
just, you can tell.
I don't remember you having one, but so, okay.
It's just, I know. What do you think? Do you think it's improved since the last time you saw me, Jeff? I've been growing it out.
That's all he does. Is grow it out.
I'm told that, diplomacy is basically the art of keeping your mouth shut. So I'm going to just follow that.
Okay. Respectable answer.
Oh,
Family's from
was it?
Richmond, and my siblings are both younger than me. My sister is about to graduate. She's a senior at the University of Tennessee, and she's in a sorority there. And then my brother is a freshman at James Madison University, and he is in a fraternity. So they are loving college, and it was really good seeing them over the Christmas break. But my parents are both lived in Virginia for most of their life, and I love them very much. I owe everything to them, and I know they're watching, so love you guys.
Mhm. And not to mention that incredible amount of patience they probably showed as you were growing up, all
Yeah.
that. But so your brother, did you give him any special do's or don'ts when he went off to college? And
Yeah, I mean,
info?
I definitely learned a lot of lessons through college that I tried to instill in his young mind. But I think the biggest thing I was hoping that he would take away from everything that I told him is just enjoy it. He is in a very different situation than I was in, doing the fraternity lifestyle, but it's also similar in a way, just having a group of guys, people that you can look to and resonate with, and just form goals, and whether it's in the classroom or in the community or in my instances in the pool. So I really just wanted him to find a group of people that he really enjoys and just spend a lot of time with them, because it's all about living in the moment.
So if I didn't have a great time at college, do you think they would give me a do-over? Do you think it'd be like an extra year of eligibility sort of thing where I could just show up on campus once again and say, it wasn't the way Aidan described. I didn't have the fun that Aidan said I should have had.
Yeah, I mean, nowadays people are taking 5th years and 6th years. So Jeff, I mean, I would give you 7 or 8. I think you could probably make it through all 4.
All right.
Make it through.
Very, very good. Hey, let's go back. Let's get in the way back machine for a moment. Let's go back to I guess it would have been your junior year. COVID cancels. We get the news that COVID is canceling school. And of course, we were getting ready to head to Florida at that point, and we did think that there was a chance we were going to get to Florida, and then we suddenly learned that wasn't it. So basically, they canceled school. And one of the first things that one of the coaches at Nova saw was you in a car with 5 other people having a blast, driving down the main road, obviously taking all this cancellation business very, very seriously. Can you name the other 5? Because it was 5 people I think it was like 6 people, 5 others.
Yes.
Can you name those people and explain what prompted you to say, hey, let's get this crowd crowded up. Let's get this car crowded up and let's head out to Broad Street.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows that COVID was a strange time, people trying to figure out what to do, There's never been a time where there's been that
This was
many.
at the very beginning. They had just announced it, and everyone was supposed to be frightened beyond belief. And there you were. What, did you guys get donuts? What were you doing?
So we were actually trying to better ourselves and get some physical activity. So it was myself, Aubrey Bowles, Liam Ryan, DC Helms, Dane Ripple, and there were more people that we met up with, but that's all that was in the car, I believe. So
Jeff, we were going to invite you.
Well, that's a funny story about COVID, but tell us how COVID affected your senior year, high school years, and maybe your senior year, your freshman year.
Yeah, I think everyone was definitely in different spots during COVID. The end of my junior year was when COVID kind of affected everything like it did. And it was pretty hard to work around because, I never got to go to high school prom, and that really ate at me. Just wanted to go to prom so bad. But we found ways around it. Like I got to do things that I wouldn't normally do, just going on family walks every single day, made memories just of like being online for school every single day. It's just something that you can't really create, and it's a memory that I'll kind of go on the rest of my life, and everyone, I guess, will go on with. So it's just a strange time, but that's what makes life exciting, is just you gotta expect the unexpected.
One thing that was exciting, I know we did some videos where we did some Zoom things where we all got together. And one of the things that was very exciting about that Zoom video was the fact that whatever face was supposed to be representing you kept changing about every 10 seconds. Now, do you recall that?
Jeff, I don't think I recall that with
Filter gang.
I would never do any horseplay or tomfoolery, especially during an important Zoom with you.
Okay, I can, okay, if that's what you say, but all right. Very good, very good.
Wait, so in
All right.
COVID, did you hang out with Big Mike a lot?
Yeah, my father was always there for me during COVID, and my mom and my dog. COVID was a really fun time to just spend time with family and not really have to, obviously, people were worried about the virus, but I mean, it was really a time like no other where I was riding my bike a lot, skateboarding around the neighborhood, being outside, keeping my social distance, of course, but just doing things that I wouldn't normally do at times I wouldn't normally do them.
Jeff, did you know that Aidan's dad played football at Randolph-Macon?
I did not know that.
Played with the who, Aidan? Who did he play with?
In high school, my dad went to Cave Spring High School in Roanoke, Virginia. And when he was a senior on the football team, he played with two young freshmen you might know by the name of Tiki and Rondé Barber.
But I was about to say, I thought that's who you were going to say.
No, you didn't, Jeff.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Well, I remember the name Cave Springs, and I know that the Barber kids
but
were.
He basically he told them, he was like, "You guys are good enough to do this. You guys can make the NFL." And they were like, "You sure, Big Mike?" And he said, "I might just be the kicker, but I see something in you guys." And they went on to be NFL Hall of Famers.
So they credit all their fame to Mike. Shout out Mr. Duffy.
Yeah.
What a great origin story there. Yeah, that's terrific. I've heard some great stories about the Nova teenage drivers in the morning.
Mm.
And would you, like, if Nova parents are watching this, should Nova parents generally, would they be best off installing driving monitors or perhaps alerting the local police? What would recommendation would you give Nova parents concerned about their children driving to practice in the morning? Because I've heard some stories. I know one guy, just to give you one guy who will remain unnamed, I'll protect him. He managed to put his entire car up on top of a median, and none of the wheels were touching the ground, so it was stuck on the median. Now, we could never figure out exactly how he did. I mean, I can figure out how he did it, but it was a remarkable piece of work. Now, did you ever have any memorable driving experiences in the morning?
Unfortunately, I did have some memorable driving experiences. And
could you share that for us?
Yes. So
remember, this is a cautionary tale. This is to help others. And I can give a little bit of advice to maybe people that are younger and love driving a lot. People, when you first get your license, it's exciting. You're behind the wheel of a V6 engine and you're just going to practice in the morning. Nobody's on the roads. It's early in the morning, but there was one morning in the cold months of the winter, and I pull up to a stoplight. This is after practice. I pull up to a stoplight next to one of my buddies by the name of Eric Kratzer, and I look over at Eric, and he looks over at me, and we gave each other that look, and we were gonna race off the light when it turned green. So Eric's in one lane, I'm in one lane, and the light turns green, and we book it. And Eric takes the lead. I can't remember the exact car he had, but he was fast. And then, unfortunately, I swung around him and passed him, or fortunately for me, but anyways, I passed him, looked back, and rolled down my window in the fist that I had beat him. But then naturally, and then the lane switches to one lane, and there was a truck waiting to merge into a neighborhood, and they were stopped and stationary and not moving. So I had to, being that I just turned my head around and seeing that truck stopped in the middle of the road, I had to slam my brakes and pull off the side of the road. So I didn't go all the way into the grass, but I slammed my brakes, didn't hit the truck. Eric had to slam his brakes, didn't hit me, and I thought we were in the clear. But then I hear screech, and then I hear another stop, and then I hear screech, and then another stop, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what is happening? And then I hear screech, boom, 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 boom.
And that was probably the scariest noise I've ever heard.
At that point, did you give another fist signal? Or perhaps go up and do that to the truck driver? Were there any thoughts to make the most of this moment?
Yeah. Unfortunate for me is it seemed to me and everybody else that I'd caused this accident. So I was able to contain all my emotions and just check on everybody to make sure everybody was okay. And unfortunately, I did know everybody in the accident. So one of my really close friends and across the street neighbors, Lizzie Danforth, her car was totaled in the accident. And I brought her cookies after that happened. So she was okay, a little distraught, as that can be for anybody. But my advice to anyone who's just getting into driving or driving to the practice in the mornings, whether you're tired or have a lot of energy, just be careful and always think twice, because, I mean, obviously that's something that I think about. I mean, to this day, just being the cause of an accident. People at school were all talking about it. And I was embarrassed, believe it or not, that I had done that. So, yeah, sorry, that was a long story, but I mean, that is just one of the biggest, I think, driving memories I have from being a swimmer.
Did the movie, have you seen the movie F1?
No, but I know Brad Pitt's in it. He's awesome.
And it's a racing movie. I think that might bring back some good memories for you.
Yeah, maybe I'll give it a watch.
Did you cook these cookies, or did you somehow convince your mother to cook them?
You guessed it. Ding, ding, ding. Mother came in clutch.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was my mother. And I apologize to Lizzie and everyone involved in the accident, including Aubrey.
So Lizzie went, car totaled, cookies, we're even. We're good.
I think so. She would agree. Hopefully, Lizzie, if you're watching this.
Well, she may be watching this, so that'll be good. Okay, let's go to a little more serious things. So you graduated from UNCW
in coastal engineering with a bachelor's of coastal.
What degree? What year? I'm sorry.
In 2025.
You had to think about it.
You
didn't know if you was finished yet.
So you graduated in 2025, and you had a degree in coastal engineering.
Yes, sir.
And you are now currently employed as a coastal engineer?
I'm an entry-level engineer and surveyor at a coastal engineering and surveying consulting company.
So does this mean if you and I would get together and go down to the beach, that we could make sandcastles together, and you could help me make a decent sandcastle?
I could definitely help you, Jeff. I mean, I never said I got good grades, but my sandcastle abilities were one of my strong suits.
Only Sammy the Seahawk can do that.
Did you ever consider plumbing as a career?
You know, I think in recent history, according to Instagram Reels, plumbing and trades as such have really proven to be some of the most valuable fields to be in. So I do kind of regret not taking that route. My shower is also drained or clogged right now, and I'm trying to get it unclogged. So I wish I had those skills, but I don't.
Because there was a certain moment I remember when I thought that maybe you were considering plumbing as a career.
When would that moment be, Jeff?
Why? Do you remember this moment?
Well, I remember one morning at Nova when I was getting a nice slumber. Practice had started. I was really tired from a long weekend of swimming at a meet, and it was Monday morning. We had to get up at the normal 4:45 time. And I had gone to the bathroom and laid some paper towels down under the sink for a quick snooze. And you barged in, turned the lights on, 45 minutes to an hour later, and woke me up. I don't know what that's all about. Give me my beauty sleep, Jeff. Come on. What's up that?
Paper towels? You actually took out paper towels, spread them out.
It was chilly.
Yeah. And people would come into the bathroom to use the bathroom during practice, other swimmers, and they would keep the lights off and say, "Yo, what up?" I'm like,
"Good night."
And they were. When you first saw me, what did you think?
I thought it was a nightmare, but it turns out it was my real life, and I was so happy because it was actually a blessing.
So just another one of those good memories, okay? Another one of those good memories. So I'm going to throw you another one here. First time you made summer juniors, we go out to Stanford. We're walking on the deck, team's kind of coming out, and you had only been to NCSAs before that,
Mm.
and there are a lot of different swimmers at summer juniors. They don't come from the same teams necessarily that we would see in Florida. Some of them do. But we're walking down deck and everyone is saying hello to you. And it's not just, hello, gee, who's this funny and handsome fellow walking down the deck? But everyone's going, hey, Aidan, hey, Aidan, hey, Aidan. And I remember I turned around to you and said, why does everybody know you?
Yeah, it is kind of a weird thing what the internet is. I don't know exactly why they knew my name as Aidan because my TikTok handle was AIDS Duffy, but I'm guessing if I can recall correctly, it was because of my TikTok. I used to post on TikTok pretty frequently. I had a bit of a following before TikTok was kind of the thing. I like to think this is back in 2017, 2018, so OG TikTok, if you will, back when cosplay was cool. So
Aiden
maybe
was
it's
into
still
that.
cool. Yeah. You know what cosplay is, Jeff? You ever dabble?
He knows what that is.
No, it's nothing I dabbled in, but
Okay.
well, so you are, though, but I distinctly remember people going, Aidan,
Mhm.
they knew your name. And do you
Yeah.
think your performances at that meet measured up to your fame as a TikToker?
I
I mean, this
don't
is
think so.
I thought you did pretty well at your first summer juniors. So,
Thank you.
but I just wondered if you had
Yeah.
thought, gee, there's a little pressure here because everyone's saying hello to me.
You know, I do like attention, and it did feel good to
Wait
hear
a
my
minute,
name look up a little bit. You know, everyone's
you
like, there
you
he
like
is.
it? You like attention?
I've come to love it. Yeah, as I've
Okay.
grown up, and
Yeah.
I try to pretend like I don't. But I mean, we're on a podcast, and we're being honest. I can't lie to you, Jeff.
Well, just going back to the, I mentioned Sammy the Seahawk. And so I know if you could talk a little bit about kind of what that experience was like. And then also, I know you took a picture with maybe your coach's kids or something like that as the mascot. So kind of just describe what that experience was like.
Yeah. So I was for 3 years, my sophomore, junior, and senior year of college, I was employed as Sammy the Seahawk at UNC Wilmington. So it
No
was,
one ever told me that.
yeah, I was doing events, sports games on the weekends, on the weekdays to just bring school spirit up, you know, going to basketball games, getting the crowd hype. It was one of the most fun things I think I've ever done in my life. You know, it's the best part about it was that I kept it a secret from everybody, all my roommates, teammates, friends at school, teachers, classmates. Nobody knew other than my girlfriend because I couldn't just disappear for 3 hours and say, sorry, I can't tell you where I was. So I told her, but everyone else, my coach, I never told my coach. It was just a secret. And it was very hard to keep that secret because being on a collegiate swim schedule, you know, you have practice 9 times a week, sometimes some parts of the year, and lifts. So fitting that in and keeping it a secret was really difficult, especially since the locker room where I would change into my costume and suit up was right next to the swimming locker room. So those two locker rooms were right next door to each other. So there were definitely some close calls on leaving practice, heading to my locker room to suit up and almost getting caught. But, you know, I found a way and kept it a
Did
secret
you?
to the best of my ability. Some people definitely had their suspicions, but being Sammy the Seahawk and representing my school was such a great experience. So much fun.
But didn't you take a picture with Bobby's kids?
Yeah, so I did a lot of events. There were some like I saw my coach Bobby Gunturo at a lot of events, and it was just the funniest thing in the world running into him and all like my friends when I would run into them while I was suited up because just they didn't know it was me, and I was able to like I don't know poke fun at them more than other random strangers, and like I just thought it was the craziest thing in the world when my coach Bobby Gunturo came up to me and asked if his kids could take a picture with me, and there was another time he asked for a selfie, so I like have the pictures on my phone, and I was just like, these are crazy that he doesn't even know it's me in these photos.
That's a
It's
great.
moments like that that made it all worth it.
That's a great story, worthy of you. What a great and wow to take that on in addition to everything else you were doing.
Yeah, it was a lot to juggle, but it was just so fun.
Were you ever hungry after, doing the Seahawk for 3 hours?
Oh my
Hungry or
gosh.
thirsty?
Jeff, sometimes I would have to lean over a water fountain with my head on the top of my head and just my mouth peeking out of my costume and sip water.
Did you ever feel the need for, like, say, a chicken filet chicken sandwich after you did any of your mascot stuff?
Yeah, I've had some really good Chick-fil-A sandwiches. I mean, right after I work at Sammy the Seahawk is one of the best times to eat one, but another good time to eat a chicken sandwich is at Winter Juniors, when your whole team is getting offered chicken sandwiches, and apparently you sometimes take the wrong one. I don't know. Have you been in a situation where this kind
Well,
of correlates, Jeff?
I wanted you to go ahead and tell this story because it's pretty funny. You were so hungry, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
Hey, Sammy the Seahawk, fly with it, okay? Fly with it. Flap your wings and tell us.
All right. So I think a lot of swimmers and athletes in general can relate to, I don't know, a long weekend of a swim meet, eating healthy, eating your pasta, eating your salad, eating your chicken, your healthy foods every single day of the meet. But then the last day of the meet is when everybody gets pizza or Chick-fil-A or something good to splurge after a long, hard weekend. So Winter Juniors, I believe was my freshman year of high school. We finished swimming at Greensboro Aquatic Center, and we get into the vans, and they're handing out all these Chick-fil-A sandwiches, and they hand me one, and I believe it was a spicy chicken sandwich, which I didn't order, but I was just so hungry. I mean, what else would I do? They said, this one's yours, and they gave it to me, and I was like, this is spicy, but I'm gonna just send it. And I ate it like any normal person would. Then all of a sudden, I just hear some angry man.
No, I believe there was a question about, was there a spicy chicken anywhere? And then there was a little bit of silence coming from you. But you know what? Here again, it
right
falls
here.
under that. It's
Come get
a
it.
great story, still. It's like, okay, I had to drive home without eating, but here's a pretty good story. And to me, I was probably laughing about it a lot sooner than you knew I was laughing about it.
Yeah. To clarify for those listeners that don't know Jeff, he loves his chicken sandwiches. And I took the one thing that he loves, and I apologized, but he didn't eat a chicken sandwich. He didn't eat dinner that night because he was so upset.
Okay. Hey, for the, to give hope to people out there, that backstroke of yours, I mean, that was like a thing of beauty. I know you coached Summer League. Did the Summer League swimmers see you some backstroke? And
Luckily,
did they say anything after they saw it?
no,
Ew.
really, luckily, the children I coached at Canterbury Recreation Association didn't really see the flaw in my backstroke, and I appreciate them believing in me because my coaches thought otherwise. In club and in college, nobody really believed in my backstroke. There was belief in my backstroke, but I I was the problem. I wasn't the one who I couldn't fix it. I got all the tips. I got all the good recommendations on backstroke technique from coaches like you, Jeff Brown, coaches like Bobby Gunturo, John Carroll. Everyone tried to help me, but I didn't seem to figure it out, and I didn't hear the last of it.
I do believe that I once made the sign of the cross at your backstroke to see if that would help to exercise the backstroke demon, but I don't know. Not sure that it worked a lot. Hey, let's talk. I mean, I want to get into your swimming career a little bit. You started late, basically, as a swimmer, and some of the people watching this podcast, parents, maybe swimmers, I think they think that someone was. I mean, what age did you came to Nova? At what, 11 or 12?
Yes, I started swimming for the first time when I was 5 or 6, and I swam summer league for Growl in Richmond, Virginia. And I joined Nova at age 11, and I told Coach Drew Hirth, I said, he was interviewing me. He's like, hey, how you doing? Like, you want to join Nova? Tell me more about yourself. And I said, I want to get better at swimming so I can do better at summer league. And he was like, people don't join Nova to get better for summer league. They join Nova to get better at swimming, and that becomes like their big thing. So I didn't have my priorities straight at first, but summer league is where I fell in love with swimming. And I think I joined club swimming at a perfect time for myself because it gave me time to try those other sports. I played football when I was younger, soccer, track, baseball, lacrosse, was able to try a little bit of everything. I never played all those sports all that long. Maybe it was one season, but I was able to try everything. And then age 11, when I was like in 5th or 6th grade, was when I started to buckle down and really get better at swimming. And I fell in love with it more and more as like diving into it. No pun intended.
So I think your reason, I think your reason for joining is very typical. I mean, for some people, they want to be with their friends.
Mhm.
In some cases, if they don't have any friends, they just want to get better. For summer league swimming, those are often the first 2 entry steps.
Yeah, you don't have any friends.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, that one doesn't.
So tell us about, starting at 11,
Mhm.
there you are, you're coming into, a place where some of the kids may have been swimming 3 years. Just talk about that beginnings. As I said, we may have some folks out here, wondering
Mhm.
about that experience. I mean, you went on, you swam in college, you already read your credits, and you accomplished a lot. So talk about those first couple of years and when you went from 11-year-old, I just want to be better in summer league, to going, hey, I think I want to do this.
Yeah, my mindset definitely changed as I grew up. I joined Nova, and it was kind of hard at first because I like was kind of starting from scratch. They were really breaking down my technique and like telling me like, hey, this is how you're going to do it now. And it's kind of hard to teach an old dog new tricks. But not this dog. He figured it out. No, I'm just kidding. But
There was
I
that one, there was that one kick butterfly of yours too. I remember that. I was like, Aidan, could you just do the other kick? I realized you were only going to do one. But I
yeah,
thought, well, maybe I can convince him.
yeah, I never really fixed that.
Your
For some
your athleticism and your strength, those were 2 things that really, helped you a lot. That you could get away with some mistakes because you were athletic, like Charles Atlas over there. You were strong as well. So, but go
Thank
ahead,
you,
talk a
Charles.
little bit more about that if you would, because there, people out there who.
Yeah. I think, well, I joined Nova in the first place because of a good friend of mine, Anderson Broughton, was sitting next to me at a summer league meet, and we were on opposite teams, and I just saw how fast he was, and I was like, how are you so fast? And he said, I'm on Nova. You should join. And then I was like, wow, I'm sold. He was like, we can be friends. And I was just trying to make friends at that point. I like wanted to make friends. So I took his advice and I joined Nova, and come to realize he's all the way in a higher group because he's been doing Nova for a longer time. So I kind of had to learn the fundamentals and start in a lower group, but I worked my way up, and eventually I was in the same group as Anderson and Aubrey alike and a bunch of other people. I think swimming taught me a lot of lessons. It taught me a lot about discipline early on. It's not easy committing yourself to a sport like swimming or a club like Nova that demands a lot. But I mean, you're surrounded by people that really do help you accomplish your goals. And just being in a bigger group like that just teaches you a lot about teamwork and stuff like that.
How long did it take you to catch up to Anderson?
It was probably,
I mean, roughly, I'm asking, how long did it take you to catch up to the people you regarded as your peer group? This
yeah,
is the group. This is the group I want to get in. Here's the group I'm in now. How long did that take you?
yeah. I don't think I reached one of the top groups for my age group until I was a 14-year-old. I joined when I was 11, swam when I was 11, 12, and then when I was 11 and 12, I was just swimming, learning and stuff. And then when I was 13 and 14 is when I really kind of started to see I think the trajectory kind of changed. End of middle school probably. But yeah, I mean, it was really fun swimming for Nova. Thanks for creating the club. That was dope.
Hey, it was all for you. We talked about
Thank you.
everything was for that moment. It was all created. We were waiting for you. And once you came, I thought, I can leave now.
Yeah.
He's finally arrived. But
Yeah, that's
it
what I
was,
figured.
mean, you could, you were somebody that we knew started at a late age. And I mean, I remember knowing about you relatively early. Think, okay, let's keep our eyes on this guy and see where he's
Yeah.
going to. Let's
Thank you.
talk about, you missed Olympic trials by just a fraction, and it wasn't for lack of.
Yeah, the Olympic trials is something that a lot of people shoot for, and it's not easy because, I mean, it is the Olympic trials, so everybody kind of knows. That's one thing that people, even outside of swimming, understand the difficulty of. Um, the closest I ever came to qualifying was in the 2021. I think it was, 2021 Olympic trials, because they had that COVID year, so it was 2021 rather than 2020. But I was point 0.6 or tenths off the 200 breaststroke, 200 long course breaststroke. And what was so frustrating is I swam 5 weeks in a row. I did a meet 5 weekends in a row to try and qualify for that meet. And just back to back to back. The cut was a 218. And out of those 5 weeks, I can't remember exactly, but it was 20. I won a 220, a 219, a 220, 221, 219. It was like, I was just right at the verge of it. And, I had one more shot, there was one more meet before the Olympic trials qualifying period was over. And this is after 5 weekends in a row. And my coach at the time, Norm Wright, asked me, he's like, "You want to do this? Like, this is your shot. Like, I know you can do this." It fell on the same weekend as what was my COVID year, senior prom kind of thing. So I decided, it was a really hard decision to make, but I decided to kind of just move on from my goal of making the Olympic trials and just follow my heart and do what I wanted to do. And that was enjoy my one senior dance or prom and just spend time with my friends, because high school was almost over and I just wanted to make a memory. And I was, at that point, I kind of accepted that, like, hey, like, I tried my best. I left it all in the pool, and that's all you really can do. I didn't get the Olympic trials qualifying cut that year or in 2024. I tried really hard. Training under a college program that doesn't have a long course pool has its own challenges, but we worked around it. Being at UNCW, we tried our best, or I tried my best, and again came up short. But like, I have no regrets. I'm so glad I tried, and seeing my teammates who did qualify made me so happy. But it really is one of those hard things to do, and if you have the chance to do it, it's such a good accomplishment to be proud of.
6/10 of a second. For anyone who's not familiar, this is less than a half of a stroke.
Yeah.
It's not even a full stroke. It's way under a full stroke cycle. Matter of fact, in 200 breast, it could even be as long as a third of a stroke cycle. You missed it by the smallest of margins. What I remember most, I'll put in a plug for you, is the dignity and grace with which you missed. You never came out of the pool carrying on, that I recall. And I think I was probably, if someone had put a camera on me, I think I was probably leaning in that direction every time I saw you race. But I thought that you handled that really, really well. So
thank you. Yeah.
Going back to UNCW and that, let's, I got some things here. I'm going swimming, education, girls, the beach, and or surfing. Could you give us rank and order of importance as far as when you went there, maybe, or when afterwards? I don't care when you want to do it, but do you want me to go over those again?
Yes,
I think I said,
you need to write it down.
Swimming, education, girls, the beach, and or surfing. I think
Swimming,
I slowed down in the
education,
last three.
Surfing, girls, and what was the last one? Swim, education, surfing, girls.
Beach, surfing. I think we have swimming and education in there someplace.
Okay, yeah. So my college mindset would probably be in the order of number 1 being the most important, number 4 being the least important. Least important was probably girls, if I'm being honest. I had a girlfriend throughout college, pretty much at all times.
Shout out Gil.
Shout out Gil. And I probably would rank that one the lowest, just because, you can't chase after girls. If you just put your head down, focus, make money, the girls will chase after you. That was my reason for not focusing too much.
I don't know if you're going to survive that one with your girlfriend, but okay, we'll let it pass. Aubrey, don't cut that. Okay, but yeah, you already had a girlfriend. I get that. Girls are 4th and 3rd.
Yeah. Number 3 is probably surfing and the beach, just because we are so lucky at UNC Wilmington to have a beach within 10 minutes of our campus. So going to the beach enough, I definitely made it enough to the beach, but I would definitely say that I was just, with my schedule, with swimming so much, with going to school and trying to pass all my tests, it probably wasn't in my top 2. So I put
Did you ever consider going surfing as Sammy the Seahawk?
I wish I made it. I wish I was able to do that, but I might have. It's possible I would have drowned in that costume because it was very
Okay.
thick.
Fair enough.
It was very thick.
Yeah, you know.
So number 1 and number 2, we've still got left.
My number my number 2 is probably swimming. Yeah. I'm gonna go with number 2 is swimming.
Yeah.
Number 1 is education, because swimming obviously took up way more of my time than education, but I knew that education was kind of my ticket to the future, and I was very interested in what I was learning about. Coastal engineering is a really fun thing to learn about, whether it's fluid dynamics or beach nourishment class or just learning the basics of engineering. It was all just so fun, and I wasn't like super smart, but I definitely applied myself as much as I could, and we made it work. We graduated on time, and
Barely.
yeah, by the skin of our teeth, we made it.
Well,
Jeff.
you know what? You're always clever enough at anything you were interested in.
I'd kind of like to learn more about what you thought, because I know it, like my experience and everything, about our road trip this past summer,
Yeah.
down to the great state of South Carolina to visit an old friend. So
Yeah.
talk to us about that.
So I think a lot of people in this world would be interested to see the inner workings of Jeff Brown's humble abode. And Aubrey and I were lucky enough this summer, back in June, to visit your house and not only come say hi, but stay for 2 nights. 3? 2 nights? Yeah.
That's 3 nights. I thought
3
it was
nights.
but yeah.
So I tell people that I went to visit you, and they're like, that's so cool. And I tell them I stayed 3 nights, and they're like, what? He let you stay that long? So it was an experience like no other. I would give it 100% Rotten Tomatoes and a 5 out of 5 service. Yeah, I mean, Jeff, Bluffton, South Carolina is a beautiful place, and I think you found a secret little spot. Hopefully this podcast doesn't cause it to blow up and everyone move down there, but it is a really cool spot. I think my favorite part of going down to Bluffton with Aubrey was having you taxi us around and take us on alligator hunts. I really enjoyed looking for alligators with you guys, and it was
Especially on the way to the park, driving. Oh, oh my gosh!
Who hit my car? Oh, we didn't say that. We knew it was a blown out tire right away. Come on. Yeah, it was like, oh God, here we go to the beach.
Like, there
now
goes
we're
the
gonna
Ferrari.
spend our time getting a car or getting a tire fixed. But
yeah.
I think we did get rescued there. So that was all worked out well. So, I
Yeah.
mean, I think that's what, I mean, for a lot of people, I mean, going to see your old coach,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and of course you are mentioning that you and Aubrey were there. What prompted you to think of that? I mean, you guys were like, hey, can we come down and spend the weekend with you? And we're
Yeah.
very happy to have you.
Mm-hmm. I think it just came down to you had an impact on Aubrey and I in high school. You were someone that we confided in and looked up to for advice, but also looked to for humor and enjoyment of making difficult situations a little bit less difficult. You know, you're a fun person to talk with, and I don't know, you can make light of scenarios and situations that might not be as light.
So let's finish with this weekend first. Let's go. As you know, I moved into a house that has a pool table. Tell us about the main guy of our channel, Aubrey. Tell us about him as a pool player. Was he a good pool player? I mean, he swims in pools. You got to think there's some carryover. How was he as a pool player?
You know, Aubrey is one of those guys that doesn't look like he'd be good at certain things, but trust me, he's good. I'll name a few. He's good at pool. He's good at basketball. He's good at spike ball. And obviously he's good at podcasting. Like, what up? We here. So very skilled on the pool table. I mean, if I do remember correctly, he beat you, Jeff, 5 times in a row.
I think so. Yeah, at least I think 6. Yeah.
And it's your own pool table, which was a little bit embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
But
Well, that's a little bit different from the reality. So,
okay,
maybe Lisa made a few too many nice craft cocktails for you, and you'd lost touch with reality, because I don't remember Aubrey. Well, anyway, so whatever. But we can
Come on now.
go a little bit more on this because this is kind of a related question. I think you understand. This morning I went to the gym because, as you know, I swim every morning and I lift weights on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and today was Monday. But I forgot my headphones, so I didn't have any headphones with me. So I'm hearing everything that usually gets blocked out. And there's this one guy over there in the gym, and he's grunting and carrying on, and he's self-talking. I mean, he's going stuff like, one more, you got this. And he's saying this to himself. He's doing all, and I was like going, do you do that, Aidan? Do you self-talk? Do you get yourself propped up a little bit?
I think it's definitely can enhance your abilities when you just let your body do what it's instinctually going to do. So don't have to, not holding anything back is definitely going to help you get that one last rep. But unfortunately for me, I go to Planet Fitness and they have a no lunking policy. And there's
Lunking?
lunking, the definition of lunking.
Define that for me.
Is that like grunting while you're lifting?
So lunking,
You can hear him type. Jeff, I want you to take a stab at this. What do you think this word means?
Lunking? I've heard that at Planet Fitness, I heard a young fellow that I know that I work with, he said there are rules on making a lot of noise at Planet Fitness. That they have like actually measure that someone will come over to you and say, hey, you're making too much noise, like you're dropping the weights, or you're making too much noise in general. I assume that's what it refers to.
Yeah, Jeff, pretty much right on the nose right there. You know, lunking is when you are loud grunting or dropping weights, and it serves to make Planet Fitness tries to maintain their gym's judgment-free zone atmosphere where members are expected to keep the noise levels low. So
I know you're kind of reading that. See, Aubrey, I didn't go to English graduate school for nothing. I could kind of figure out what clunking or lunking, whatever.
Put that degree to use.
Yeah. So, well, if we can go back to that weekend, you know, I think one of the things that I've always, as a coach, you enjoy seeing the swimmers that you coach as adults, and you enjoy talking with them as adults and treating them as adults.
Especially us too.
Yeah. So was that kind of strange for you when you came down? And I think, you know, that you're sitting there going, Lisa's going, would you like a drink? And you're probably thinking, well, I'm going to get a glass of water and an ice cube, and that's going to be pretty good. I mean, talk about that, you know, dealing with your coach suddenly when you're being treated as an adult in all ways.
It was definitely a change of scenery because I had seen you a couple times since being a Nova alumni, and we had been in situations, very tame situations, where it's just a bit of chitter chatter or a nice lunch or breakfast meal. But being able to spend an extended period of time with you and talk about things that we've never really been able to talk about, you know, just like being honest, truly honest, because I was always honest with you, Jeff, but I didn't tell the full truth sometimes. So, which isn't lying. It's just not telling everything. But
which was part of the strategy behind handing you a cocktail. So, you know, here, maybe we get this guy to talk, you know? So
Aidan actually went straight to the fridge and grabbed 10 beers.
Yeah. Well, Aubrey and I brought 2.
Well, we can, I will say that next question I have down here is explain the great Modelo incident of 2025. I mean, you walked in the house, and the first thing Lisa said, should we get beer before you walked in there? Lisa said, should we get beer? And I said, no, we're going to treat them like adults. Beer is for college.
Yeah. That's
but
this was all Aidan's idea.
I was like, Aubrey, do you like beer? And he said, no, I'm an adult. But yeah, I mean, we came in to your house kind of as I wouldn't say adults, I'd say young guys, and then we came out of your house as young adults. So just that visit right there changed my mindset on a lot of things. You know, we've had some great conversations.
What was the mindset behind leaving a case of beer in a car that reached temperatures of over 100 degrees?
It does.
What was the mindset there? We can't bring this inside, or what?
We were embarrassed, Jeff.
Yeah, we didn't know what your vibes were going to be like, and we wanted to test the waters first and see, because we didn't want to be the guys that come into your house with beers on our shoulders and say, "Jeff, shotgun." We just wanted to see an old friend, and then if the beers get cracked open, they get cracked open, and we went out to the car on the second day and in the fridge.
There you go. Well, we went to Savannah. Both of you guys can answer this. What was your impression of Savannah? It's an interesting city.
Aubrey, what was your impression of Savannah?
I liked it. It was very kind of old school. I loved actually when we went to the city when we finally parked, and Jeff, you get this instead of using phones to direct, you get this map. And you still, of course, don't know how to work it, even though you had those forever. And so I had to help out, but that was great. I really enjoyed. What were they? Willow trees? Is that what's big down there?
Willow trees?
Or no? Yeah. What's the big or Spanish moss? Spanish moss that's like big down
the
there.
The live oak trees are the ones that you're referring to.
Right,
they're big live oaks.
Like my fault. I guess I didn't go. I'm sorry.
Well, they have Spanish moss on them, but basically they look almost like willows because they have so much Spanish.
So that wasn't far off. All right. Well, that makes me feel better.
Kind of felt like we were a family in a way. Like you were my like second dad or something.
Yeah,
it
was like you're my dad.
I don't know whether to feel complimented or threatened. I'm not really sure which one it was.
Jeff, that is a compliment.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, in the most sincere way.
Yeah.
I'll take that. Well, yeah, it was great having you guys down here. And as I said, it's always, and I think swimmers are sometimes reluctant when they first see their coach. And I'm like going, you're not 18 anymore. You're not 19 anymore. You're certainly not, I'm not coaching you anymore. So why not act like as an adult? And I think we did have some great conversations, and kind of the idea. I mean, I think our strolling around looking for alligators, that was kind of the genesis for this podcast, wasn't it, Aubrey? We kind of said, hey, we're having a fun time talking. Maybe we can take this someplace else. Now let's go back. Let's talk about what you wanted to talk about before. Let's talk relays. And my question was, the buzz out there is that you are an awesome relay competitor. So let's talk that famous relay of yours. I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah. So I was selected to be on the 800 freestyle relay, the B relay. So no pressure. But at the 2019 NCSA championship in Orlando, Florida.
And what leg on the relay were you swimming? I
was going last on the 800 freestyle relay. So my three teammates ahead of me had swam at 200 each, but I was the last one up. And I had so much adrenaline pumping, first day of the meet, everybody's there. It's loud. It's chaotic, it's hype. My teammates on the relay were, I believe, Daniel Chance, Patrick Madden, and Jacob Oberle.
And Jacob was in the water before you.
Jacob had gone third. So Jacob dove in for his section of the relay. He was swimming so fast that I thought he was going to be done. So I hop up on the block, not realizing that Jacob has only swam a 100.
150. He was at the 150.
He still doesn't know.
He was at the 150.
Yeah, he was at the 150. So I saw him coming in. I hop up on the block. I see someone hop up next to me. So I'm like, let's do this thing. Let's race. This just got real. And he's coming into the wall, and I do my swing, and I dive in and start my leg of the 800 freestyle relay. And I'm swimming as fast as I can. I'm going out like a madman. And I'm swimming on my second lap right after I had done my first flip turn. And I guess I was swimming on the more so right side of the lane, because I take one of my breaths in the very middle of the pool, and I just see a swimmer pass my face. And it was like life was moving in slow motion at that point. And I was like, my mind just went completely blank. I was like, what just happened? What's happening? Where am I? Jeff, help. Am I okay? And I didn't actually know what was happening, because I didn't know what I saw. People go into race mode and they're not thinking about anything. Your mind goes blank and you're just racing. So I'm like, I don't know what that was, but I'm gonna keep going. And I kept swimming, but I was confused because I had saw him, and then I had gotten to my wall, and I saw him getting out of the pool, I think. And it was all just a big cloud, and I was so confused. But I got out of the water, and my teammates were like, "You went a 50 early, blah blah blah," and people were mad at me, and I was like,
I hate you.
Yeah, I was like, these are like my teammates, and they were like, no one on my relay was mad, but people were upset with me. They were like, we needed those points. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sad. Because I was a sophomore. I was like one of the younger guys, just wanted to be contributing. I was like low-key crying.
And I was laughing because I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah, I came over and you were laughing in my face.
I thought it was, well, what Jacob Oberle, you know, he was probably the most confused person because you didn't pick up on the confusion until you came back by him.
Mm-hmm.
He was going, what is going on?
Yeah.
Because you're diving, he's coming off the wall. And I think that was probably, and Jacob, to his credit, stayed with his instinct. Look, I got another 50 to go. I don't know what's going on here. But, and I don't know if Aubrey's told you the story, but the real story was the guy next to you. Have you heard that? Do you remember what he did?
What I remember is that he dove off the block at the same time and then didn't go.
He went underwater and hid there, waiting for his swimmer to come back in an attempt to keep his relay from getting disqualified, got out of the water, got back up on the block and went.
You guys need to get this guy on the podcast next week. I need to hear his perspective.
Even while you were rolling. But that's one of those things where it was funny. I mean, what can I say?
You got to take those moments with a grain of salt because in the grand scheme of things, points at a meet aren't really all that important. It's about like the memories. Like I don't remember what place or what time anyone went at that meet, you know. It was just the fun memories that we look back on and take away. I mean, that was one of my favorite moments ever. And I was super sad and crying when it first happened. And then I was like, that's like such a funny thing to look back on. So
was that the same meet as the water park?
I think the water park was my freshman year.
No, okay.
But yeah.
So what happened at the water park, Aubrey?
I wasn't there, Jeff. I only went to one NCSA.
Aubrey was too busy at the World Trials.
Yeah, what happened at the water park? Didn't you start throwing stuff?
Yeah, so back when restrictions were a little bit more loose, this was my freshman year of high school, the very last time it happened, but the NCSA committee, I believe, paid for a local water park in Orlando to be reserved for everyone that was at the swim meet. So the buses after the meet drove all the teams to this water park, and they fed us dinner. All the parents left. So it's just lifeguards and swimmers. And this is when chaos breaks loose. No parents are around. We just finished one of the longest meets of our life, a 5-day meet. So everyone's on basically vacation mode now and we're going crazy. I remember fights breaking loose, people's falling off slides and breaking legs. And my contribution to the chaos was that I got one of these free hamburgers that they gave us, and everybody's in the wave pool, playing around, and they're doing a whirlpool in the wave pool, and that's when swimmers or anyone in the pool locks arms and then runs in circles. And so they were doing this big whirlpool, and then I bring my hamburger into the middle of the wave pool where they're doing this whirlpool, and I bring it up in the air, and I'm like, I have a cheeseburger, and then everybody like comes in and lifts me up. And they start like chanting my name. This is like a true story. And and the lifeguards are like blowing their whistles like crazy. People are sprinting. They're like, no running. And people are going crazy. And I like take a bite of the soggy burger and I throw it. And,
delicious.
Then they never invited us. They closed it down immediately. We were there for 45 minutes. But a lot can happen in 45 minutes. And
apparently it did. Absolutely.
I wish Aubrey was there because it would have probably gotten even crazier.
So when you guys went home over Christmas, I mean, swimming friendships, college or age group, have those swimming friendships been important to you? Is there something about swimming practices together that bonds people more closely?
Yeah, I think definitely being in those difficult situations where people kind of see you at your worst and see you at your best too. You like really grow closer to people, watching them succeed and being there to celebrate their success, as well as being there for them when they fail. And I mean, Aubrey was one of the guys that I always could confide in and look to and be honest with. And he always had my back. I had his. And, that's what, I mean, is pretty special. Like being removed from the swimming pool nowadays, my best friends are all still the teammates I've had from the past, on Nova and at UNCW, like those bonds and those friendships I've made are stronger than any bonds I made with people in school and stuff like that. You know, you wake up every morning with these people, and Aubrey's one of my best friends. All my UNCW guys, I'm super close with them, and you know, we're lucky that to be a part of a sport that really does build that camaraderie.
So outside the friendships, what else has swimming done for you? How do you think that being a swimmer has benefited you? Or even if you want to talk the negative, either one.
Yeah, I think being a swimmer has really impacted me in a good way. And I think a lot of people would agree that it is really good for helping mind, like your, I think, goal setting strategies and whatnot. One thing I used to do when I was a club swimmer and still actually to this day is like writing down my goals. I would write like, I know it sounds kind of corny, but I would like write down my time that I want to hit and I'd put it on my wall and just like looking at it. And I know I heard that from someone else and then I copied it, and I think it really does work. I even looked up a statistic that you're 42% more likely to accomplish your goals if you write them down. So it's something I do. I wrote down my goals for January next month, and it's like something that I kind of carried on with me because it's like just being conscious of what you want to accomplish and thinking about it on a daily basis, you're so much more likely to achieve. So I think that is something I learned from swimming and something I'm going to carry on the rest of my life. Swimming is also where I met my girlfriend, so pretty lucky that I met her and pretty lucky that I am a swimmer. But yeah, no.
There are those things. You know, it's interesting you said that because one time way back when a parent came to me and said she was talking about she had a daughter and one of her daughter's friends, and she came up and she said, do you know that so-and-so has all her goal times plastered on her wall in her bedroom? And she also has the times of other swimmers throughout the state on the wall. And I said, well, okay. I said, did she put them up there or her mother? And she said, well, don't you think that's wrong? I said, well, did she put them up there or did somebody get her to? She said, no, she put them up herself. I said, I don't have any problem with that. I thought it was great. This girl was, and she did accomplish a great deal because she did that, just putting it up there. And I guess that posting that made you a little bit more responsible to that goal.
Yeah.
So,
Or what's your biggest takeaway from swimming?
Probably organization, you know, especially in high school, just having to be up at whatever 4, and then be at school at 8 and all that stuff. So I think it taught me how to kind of organize my day, and how to manage to the best of your ability, because there really was no room to kind of mess around. Like if I didn't get homework done, then like I'd be getting a couple hours of sleep. So it'd be tough. But then also to compete. I'm a very competitive guy. I didn't win a lot, but I won some. And just, you know, handling how to lose with grace, and just, you know, strategies to it, and stuff like that. Because I think it's important to be competitive, but I mean, when you get too competitive, like Jeff every year, like in pool and all that, it just gets kind of out of hand. And like you said, you know, we had a great group of guys, you, me, Liam, Jack Anderson, and Will. Like it really was a phenomenal group to train with. So that made it a lot easier.
well, both of you were late bloomers. You were both getting better the whole time. There wasn't I got good at 16 and I wasn't any good at 17, 18. I don't want to hear that from either of you two, because you did both get better as far as they go. Do you still swim?
I
Look at his stomach.
check me out. No, I'm a supporter of swimming from the pool sideline. I go attend UNC Wilmington meets local here in Wilmington, support my girlfriend, support my best friends, and then I also still cheer on everyone from Nova. And I don't know, I'm not swimming anymore, but
That was a long
no.
way to get to that answer of no. Did you ever sidle up next to Sammy the Seahawk and offer some tips? You know, like, these things worked for me, maybe they'll work for you. Have you passed on any of the secrets of the trade?
I have, but I can't pass on those secrets to the podcast,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Jeff.
No,
I'm trying to get some insight on here.
I was not asking for them. I was
thank
just
you.
wondering
Jeff,
if
if you want to be the
like
mascot, I can talk to someone.
Yeah, Jeff, if you want to go back to college so badly, like, well, like you can do it, okay?
If there was a chain of custody that would, you know, of the Sammy the Seahawk secrets where you were all sworn to, you know, help each other and not, I wasn't asking you to reveal anything. No, that wasn't it at all.
Jeff, I'm asking you to reveal your top order of girls' education and sports right now. Go.
Okay, what were they again? I'm trying to do him right back at him. So what were they again?
Yeah.
We're gonna go with education, athletics, and girls.
No, it was education, athletics, beach, girls.
Oh yeah, Jeff. The floor is yours.
Education definitely last.
Well, some people have to prioritize them and put them in ranked order because they can't handle them all at the same time. And I'm just going to put them level.
What?
So you'd
Okay.
rather work out than hang with Lisa?
No, I just said they're all.
Fuck!
Some of us are able to do them all at the same time. So I think I just dusted. You, Aidan.
You didn't dust me, son.
Oh, I don't know, but I think you have to plan out to give equal. If there's enough of you, you can devote yourself equally to all those things and feel like they're all getting their due attention.
Is what someone would say who doesn't do them
Yeah.
all.
Hey, with girls, it was all charity on their part. I tried to just get them to.
Were they blind?
Admittedly,
Or
some of
deaf?
them. We don't really have to go through the pain of that sort of pain. But no, obviously, I mean, I kind of didn't mean my answer to be flippant. I think it's something they're all part of that experience. I wondered if you would say that. I mean, that they're all great parts of a college experience.
Yeah. I mean, Aubrey and I were lucky enough to look through your yearbook when we visited you. And I mean, you had some hair back then.
Yeah, it was crazy.
You were kind of handsome.
What happened?
Where did it go wrong?
Oh, there's this little thing.
Jeff, I'm going
called
to join you, though.
genetics. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know. But, I mean, I think Lisa brought down those yearbooks for you two to look at, didn't she?
Yeah. She was very proud of the man he used to be.
Well, I mean, you guys, I guess you're entitled to give me at least as hard a time as I gave you guys. So that's okay. I can handle it. You got more?
Yeah.
Just bring them on. Bring them on. You'll run out soon enough. Aidan, do you want to give any shout outs to anybody out there? Other than, I mean, of course, you're going to start with your girlfriend, but is there anybody else you want to talk to out there and say, hey,
I'm actually going to start with Night Bowls. Shout out Night. Love you.
and Night Bowls is
the triplet of Aubrey Bowls. And I
one
can't
of the
forget Maddie Bowls.
Maddie and Night.
Yeah. But then I'd like to go to my girlfriend, Gil Shaw. She's finishing up her senior year at UNC Wilmington, and she's doing so great. And I've enjoyed watching her, and she's going to kill it this season.
Her greatness is measured by her taking you on as a challenge.
Yeah, it is
God
a
bless
challenge.
her.
She makes it look easy. Yeah, I'd like to say thanks to everybody who's helped me get to where I am. Jeff, you being one of those people, and Aubrey, you being one of those people that I've looked up to and wouldn't be where I am today without. So thanks for having me on the podcast, and thanks for doing what you guys do. I mean, I'm really excited to see where this podcast goes. And I listened to the first episode. It was awesome. No, this is super fun, and I'm like super excited that you guys are doing this.
Alrighty, then that is all the time we have for this episode. Aidan, thank you so much for joining us on today's episode. We really enjoyed having you on. If you have not listened to the first episode with Benji DeMott, you can find the link to that episode in the description of our new Instagram account, which is _current_conversations_. Again, thank you so much, Aidan. You're my boy. Remember, everybody, new episodes every Sunday. See ya.